All right, let's talk about welcoming new families to your pack. And this was an idea that came from, I forget exactly where, but I know something that some of us really struggle with in terms of when we get either one new scout in the middle of the year, or if we had a whole bunch of new scouts, if we're traditional units, and after fall recruitment, and we're trying to onboard a dozen or more families. It can be challenging to make sure we have all the right resources and get all the points across, especially if you're trying to convey all these things to one family at a time. So after recruiting a new scout, your job isn't done. That's the point here. And we've seen this a lot, especially about 2.5 years ago when I first joined Cub Scout Pack here in the area. We saw a lot of families that felt lost and didn't know what was going on. And the thing that I found in doing recruitment since then, if I'm standing in front of a group of about this size of adults, maybe 12 to 20 adults, and I start talking about dens and charter organizations and council and this and that and the other thing, I get glassy eyeballs. And I did a poll a couple times, and my average is about 80 to 90% of the adults that come to my recruitment event have absolutely no scouting experience at all whatsoever. To have somebody who's an Eagle Scout or even just was a Scout is a little bit of a rarity, and I found that to be very interesting personally. But the point that I took away from that is when I'm doing a talk, whether it be after registration and it's a welcoming thing, or if it's during a recruitment event, I need to keep in mind and be very cognizant that the people I'm talking to don't know what a den is. They don't know what a charter organization is. They don't know what the council is. So this is part of the what can we do to help educate these folks and get them on board as quickly as possible. So this is kind of the map and compass and partially a dictionary. So some good things to have. First and foremost, I say this a lot, and I'm sorry for those of you who've heard me say it a lot. You need a 12-month calendar. You need a 12-month calendar to hand to people and say, here's what we're doing for the next year, join us. And then encourage them to put that calendar on their refrigerator or transfer it to their calendar. I also recommend, if you're technologically inclined, to do like a Google Calendar or an iCal on your iPhone and share that with your whole pack. Make it public so that everyone can tune in. And I've done that with mine. It's really easy. With Google Calendar, at least, it's kind of my thing. I'm an Android guy. If you're an Apple, iPhone kind of person, I'm sure they have the same kind of capability. A new parent handbook or a guide is an excellent one. By the way, there are some over there on the table of each of these examples. They're about half a year or a year old, but it gives you the parent guide that I have over there is about a month old. And I'll go over some of the things you're going to want to have in your parent guide. A great one is to have a leadership guide. We'll talk about what this is, but basically it's a contact sheet. For something's happened, I need to call somebody right now. Where's the phone number? Where's the email? So they know exactly what to go get. Family Talent Survey is an excellent thing, and that's a national document. That's a resource for you to hand out to new families and say, hey, we'd like to get to know you. What are you all about? A PAC Code of Conduct I talked about 2 months ago. The copies are over there. Basically, if you're having some issues in terms of behavior, you can set down some guidelines for scouts and adults in your pack. Let them know what you expect. Expectations are important. And medical forms. My pack has gone to the point of actually handing out medical forms to scouts as they register, so that when we go to an outing or something, we get those forms back, we maintain them, and we say, we've got a form for everybody. And then my secretary has a big thing about, okay, we're going to get everyone to do a new form at the beginning of the new year so everyone's is up to date. Make your own policy, but it's always a good idea to have medical forms when you go somewhere, and in my opinion, to hand them out when you have a new Cub Scout. I don't have any medical forms, but you guys should have them, right? Parts A and B. Yes.
How long are they good for?
1 year.
1 year.
Yes.
Physical year or day to day?
Date to date.
Okay. Do you generally put the financial policies in this too, or is that something you hand out later on?
In theory, your budget and things like that. Well, okay, financial policies like fundraising.
Well, yeah, because they talk about it a lot at University Scouting. This was brought up in the finance one.
There have been some
issues a lot because there's been a lot of changes, or not really changes, but enforcement over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So
what I've done is, if an adult comes to my committee meeting and wants to see the budget, absolutely. I'm not going to publish that on the web page or anything like that, but it's open information. In terms of like, we do fundraisers, and this is how much goes to your scout, and this is how much funds the pack, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I put that forward at recruitment.
At recruitment.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because they
And
talked about it a lot at
Yeah.
University of Scouting with all the changes, and now you don't have
Yeah.
scout accounts, so
Well,
you're not supposed to have
that's-
scout accounts, and it gets supposed to
Go-
be
okay.
spread over.
Does anybody else have this issue, concern? Okay.
Yeah.
There is a great Scoutcast, or Cubcast, excuse me. Are you familiar with Cubcast? Okay. About, so earlier this year, I want to say March or April or something like that. Go back and look for that one about the financial stuff. And there's a BSA national lawyer that actually goes through and explains in great detail what is and isn't okay.
Okay.
It's okay to have Scout accounts. It's okay to have Scout accounts, but you have to be careful not to have a dollar-to-dollar correlation between Billy Cub Scout sold $10 in popcorn.
It's $10 in this thing.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yes.
I guess, and one thing, like on a new parent handbook, just kind of setting that expectation. So we're gonna hit you up for Friends of Scouts.
Yes.
Think about $40, and then where you're gonna get summer camp. You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be 100 to 200.
Yeah,
and then
it's
we're gonna,
fun.
and then
Or
we
2 to
get
3
dues.
actually.
We get dues coming on. It's just like they kind of like boom. When I sign up, I get some of these expectations. Then you can put in, a little side note is we got heavy fundraising. That's
If you see, if you, looks like the stack might be empty actually. I think, yeah, everybody has one. Did you guys not get one? There are copies on the Google Drive.
Okay.
And you'll see exactly that. We do these things, and this is how we do that, and this is the expected cost.
Yeah.
Both one-time costs, annual costs, monthly activity kind of thing. You're absolutely right. That's very important to lay that out. So let's start with the pack calendar. What are we doing and when? Some people say 18 months. I have a really hard time with planning out 18 months and I like to plan. 12 for me is minimum. And I've said this before that I like to do my planning in late April so that when spring recruitment comes, I have that calendar. And then basically that late April is going to lay out for the next 12, 13 months all the way to June of the following year. And I'll leave the summer TBD. That's okay. And then when you come to fall recruitment for us traditional units, you can try to fill in that summer as you go. It doesn't need to be beautiful. It just needs to exist. It needs to have the details of what you're going to do. It could just be a list, really. A list is kind of hard to decode sometimes. There is an Excel spreadsheet on the Google Drive. You'll get a pointer to that's just an Excel spreadsheet. It does the job. It's fine. It's not beautiful. But it'd be really easy to implement that. It basically says, okay, October 12th is pack camp out or whatever, or scouting for food, December 5th. Really easy. You can whip this out in probably 15 minutes, print it, and have something. Or you could go with trying to make it really pretty and amazing.
There's actually an Excel template.
There is. And that's what you'll probably see on the Google Doc from National, right?
That's what our secretary.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
So,
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I told her to use calendar, but she wanted to do that. So.
Well, and it's okay to do both. It just becomes a maintenance issue. The document that I have over there, that's our pack calendar, is done with Microsoft Word and tables. It's a little challenging to change the colors and everything, but it works. It works. I just have to go back and look up all the color numbers for the CMKY or whatever. You can do it a whole bunch of different ways. Excel is probably the easiest.
Mike,
Yes.
this is ours.
Ooh.
I mean, it's real simple,
Oh yeah.
but
It's a table.
it's a table.
Yeah, and it's basically a glorified list, and it breaks it out by month. That's great. And you have your pack symbol up there, your little logo. Very cool. Yes.
So we recently switched over to using Scoutbook for tracking our advancements.
Right.
There's a built-in calendar with reminders.
Does it work?
It does.
It does. It does. Okay. I haven't tried using that yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's not perfect.
Okay.
It's not
Scouts
perfect.
after the
It's still
fact, but
got.
automatically added.
Yes.
But it's nice because I, for example, set a reminder 2 days and then the day of our Scout committee meeting
Okay.
for
Excellent.
all of our leaders.
By the way, 6:30 p.m. tonight, right? Yeah. Absolutely. That's a great one.
And for dens, I mean, you can have it come out, so like the day before field trip, it just reminds them what time and where the field
Right.
trip. And then he can go back in and put the attendance of who went on the field trip, so you have all their service hours and everything. So for a den leader, it's perfect, because otherwise it's hard to keep track of like who attended.
Yes.
You know, like 6 months down the line, which boy was there to finish his
Absolutely,
requirements. So-
yeah. Oh, that relates to an award. Who was there?
Right.
You've got the record.
Exactly.
That's excellent, yeah.
It keeps track of all the service hours, hiking hours,
Cool.
that kind of stuff too, so. it's-
Unfortunately, I don't think that plugs in directly to the back end, like the service project reporting. And what my advancement guy says is, yeah, it'll keep track of what your boys have earned, but it won't go tell the council automatically. You still have to generate a report.
But you can generate a report.
You can generate a report, but then there's a little translation apparently. Is what
That's
he
for the
found.
committee.
Yeah, those committee guys,
They
let
were
them
not
deal
that
with it. Anybody else have any other interesting solutions to share
We're
with
good
your
at Scout Track, the other one.
Scout tracks? Yeah,
One more.
a similar thing.
It's pretty good, it has a good
Okay.
calendar, and it has, you can say when you want your reminders and things
Cool.
like that.
Yeah, that's neat.
It's a little odd of program overall.
Okay.
A little squirrely, but once you get used to it, it's okay.
Scaleback isn't perfect either, but you know, I like to say that BSA National, whether it's a software company that writes for BSA National or with Scoutbook, BSA National itself owns it. They're not a technology company. You know, you have to be patient. I'll talk about the new parent guide real quick, and some of the things that. Okay, first, Council produces a generic version. And I have a copy of that on the Google Drive. I didn't print any of it because it's all glossy. It's all yellow, I think. National has one too. It's very generic. It's very, this is what Cub Scouting is about. My opinion, take it, look at it, extract what you think is important for your parents, and put that in yours. But the really important thing is you want to create something that's specific to your pack. What do we as a pack do? What are our dens? What do we, you know, when during the year do we do things? What fundraisers do we do? Where do we usually go to camp? Stuff like that. Know that some families, I found this year. I had a family that read this, absorbed it, and came and said, "This is amazing. The thing you created is like you're in the military." I'm like, "No, I'm just an engineer." And other families, you're like, "Hey, did you go and did you see the thing about the whatever?" He's like, "No." Well, that was page 1 of the handbook, guys. But some people will not read it. It's okay. Just recognize that. Those people that do are the people that really want to know what's going on. So keep that in mind. List of resources. So CPC has a fall parent guide. They just updated this a couple months ago. Again, it's your resource if you want. Extract what you think is interesting. Leave behind the stuff that you don't. Another good example, this is again on the Google Drive. From Pack 18, I forget if they're in Wyoming or something like that. I thought it was a really cool parent guide. Just a different example. Take what you like from each. Now, you'll see in my parent guide about halfway through or more a 2-page thing of position, name, photo, contact information, and bio for each of my adult leaders. My pack is blessed to have 15 registered adult leaders, not including Tiger Cub parents right now, which is awesome. I don't take it for granted. But you'll see the nice thing is you get to go through, and I would recommend doing something similar, of basically introducing yourself to new families. Hi, my name's Joe. I'm the Cub Master of Pack 618 or whatever. Here's my contact information. I like to go hiking and boating and wood carving. It really helps to kind of make that person a person and not just a face in front of a pack meeting. Your den leaders, with your committee members. Some of these folks your new families won't see for months maybe, like your treasurer or somebody who really works in the background. So I like to have that. I used to have that page separate, and now I folded it in as part of my parent guide. You can do that as you want.
It's something interesting this year. So we had, our pack does our fees a little different. We had a little bit of money left over.
Okay.
And we actually made name tags for all the parents who wanted to have a name tag.
Cool.
All parents.
Parents,
And
not just registered.
not just registered leaders,
Oh,
but
okay.
all parents, so we can get a little more interaction, so the parents can, because it's so hard to remember everybody's name. We get
Right.
together, a lot of them only come to once a month where you see everybody. And just, it was a way that we felt that would actually
Yeah.
help
Everybody-
include things a lot more quickly and kind of get that thing. And we just made little magnetic tags so that we can just wear on
A
your
couple
shirt.
bucks each probably, right?
It's a few bucks. If
Yeah.
someone did it, they found a place online to do it for really very reasonably. And
Well, the nice thing about that is that everybody gets to know everybody's name at least, and maybe there's more conversation. And hi, Joe, how's it going? You know, that kind of thing. That's really neat. I like that. Name, position. Okay, so any questions about that? That's a really good point of that. The other thing that, and this is total aside, to get parents involved with your pack meeting especially, or even your den meeting if you're a den leader, assign a very small but tangible job. okay, you're going to be in charge of snacks this week. You're going to be in charge of setting up chairs. Here are your 4 helpers. And then you make that a bounded thing, and it's one time and done, and then you get to know them. Maybe next week they'll come back and say, hey, how can I help this time? You pull them in. The thing that you don't want to have as a parent, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, sitting in the back, just wait for the pack meeting to be done. And get our parents engaged. Give them something to do, even if it's small. There's a great article about an old-time scouter who asks his new adults to bring Oreo cookies to a pack meeting. And based on what happens in the following month, he knows if they'll be a good adult leader or not. If they bring Oreos, if they bring fake Oreos, or if they bring nothing, or if they don't show up. There's a great, I think it's on Scout, I forget where. If I can find it, I'll forward it to you guys. It's a really interesting little tidbit for committee chairs and pack leaders. Family talent survey. Get to know those families. You need to get to know them. If you're a Cub Master, if you're a committee chair, a committee member, you don't want to just have somebody be a face that shows up once a month. And it's one of the forms that National produced, I think a couple years ago. It's over on the table. Feel free to take some. I like to see, when I see one fill out come back to me, I'll look at it first as a committee chair. And if I have somebody that's obviously, okay, they're maybe willing to be an assistant den leader or help out with the den leader stuff, I'll hand that off to the den leader. Say, hey, look, this person could be a resource to you. If it looks like maybe they'll be a committee member, I'll hold on to it. Say, okay, or maybe I'll make a copy and hold on to it or something like that. Let your den leaders know who in their dens might be good resources. That's a great way to do that. Code of conduct we talked about 2 months ago. Again, if you have one as a pack, it's great. Make sure your families know what your expectations are. Now is a good time to have those medical forms go out. Summer camp, it's always a pain before summer camp. You guys probably always have this. A couple scouts to chase down in July as you're on your way to summer camp to go get the gosh darn medical form, right? Nip it in the bud now. It just makes it that much easier. So for traditional units, and this is where it gets a little bit...
Just one thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
When the code of conduct,
yeah?
it's, the Boy Scout troop, we do that before we go to camp.
Okay.
And it seems like a good procedure. Some kids out of line, and you just sit them down, and with the counts, with a group of adults, you, line by line, you walk through. What does this mean? You know,
right.
You sign this, and this is how your behavior matches up. And you know, you eat a whole 20 minutes on this thing, but it's a way to handle discipline.
It is.
And to help. So otherwise, you know, sometimes it's difficult. You just let it slide.
Yes.
And you need to nip it. It's an opportunity to intervene where some intervention needs to happen.
Yeah. We created ours so that, and the intention is when we have a new scout join, they go over it with their parents, and the scout signs and writes his name, and the parent signs and writes their name, and they have the conversation of, here are our expectations for your scout, here are our expectations for the adult. Things like be on time, and if you're not going to be able to be there, call, let us know please. And the expectations that they can have for us as adult leaders, and then the consequences in general terms. So it's something that most of our elementary school scouts can digest. With Boy Scouts, you can make it a little bit more direct, but we like to have our scouts and their families kind of have that conversation. But yeah, you're right, it's an opportunity to nip any issues in the bud, hopefully, and at least set expectations for here's what we really expect. Thank you. Any other thoughts? Yeah.
Do you have your code of conduct in a Word document?
I do, if you would like it. If you would like the code of conduct that we have, or my parents' guide, or my calendar, please email me. I don't like to put it out there to everybody. If you really want it, I'm happy to hand that out. And the only thing I ask is that you change, of course, the pack number and the symbol, because that's kind of our thing. So yes, please just shoot me an email, and I will I'll hand that to you. Same goes for everybody else. If you really like that, just shoot me an email. All right. So for traditional units, we most often have a group, hopefully a large group of people join us in fall or spring. That's kind of what we do, right? And sometimes we'll stand in front of a whole group and have a whole bunch of people come in. The LDS units have it a little bit different. They get a scout, potentially 1, 2 throughout the entire year, and maybe you'll have a clump join during a certain time, or maybe not. I thought the interesting thing here is that traditional units, in my opinion, can really learn from what our LDS leaders do, because I don't know about you guys, but I've had scouts join in March, April. I had 2 scouts join for just this past month because they were late for fall recruitment. So what I've done is I've asked Ann to come on up, if you would please, and she talked a couple months ago about what she does as a wolf den leader for her den, excuse me, and in terms of welcoming new Cub Scouts.
Well, in the church units, the wolves are the first boys that come in.
Right.
We don't have a tiger unit, so.
So don't be shy.
Well, I've got my puppy here. So.
Oh, your pup. Looks like they're conked out completely.
Yeah, well, almost. He's in
All right.
standby mode. Anyway, and I do dens with the dogs too, and the boys all help me train my puppies. So we visit each boy. We know ahead of time when they're coming, so we have a packet. And it's a little different because we usually know the children beforehand because they've been in our church board for the whole time, and we usually know the parents. Sometimes we'll have people move in that we don't know, so it's always good. But even if you think you know a boy, it's always interesting to visit them in their house and see what they're going to have, what kind of needs you're going to have when you have them in. I think it gives them a better idea if you get them in before you have them actually come in with a whole group of 11 boys or something. So we take this out. We have first page is just a orientation, but we just do it really simply. We have what they need to have for the uniform, patches, and basically the ages they're going to be. Most of the people will know something about Scouts, but lots of them, it's their first son to go through our program. We give a den roster. I just covered that over tonight just so you don't have all their names. And then we have a Scout committee thing. So we do give a den roster out because all the boys, all the parents get it online anyhow for the board. We have a list of Bobcat requirements. I always challenge the boys to get their Bobcat by the first PAC meeting. Yeah. So far, I've had 100% get it by the first PAC meeting. Nice. Even if it's only a week before, because it's not that hard to do. And then I give them a list of the wolf requirements for the new programs. We've had to change this around a little bit. Then I have a sheet, just the tracking sheet, which I got off something that you had before. Excellent. But I don't actually use that one. It was just so the parents can see. Then the important stuff, which Mike's taught me. Okay, there's our den list of all our activities. This is starting December 1st, going through end August. Excellent. So it's each week, what are we going to do at our den and what the requirements are going to be done. So I have the theme for the month, the PAC meeting, what we're going to do, the date for it, hikes, like we're going to go swimming for the Spirit of the Water. I say we're doing that on a Saturday, so I can get parents to come with that one. So it's pretty much all the list of all the things we're going to do between now and August. And we sort of go from August to August. We just started so we had our year pack up to December in that part. And here's our August themes, which sort of help if parents have more than one child in. So that's what the wolves are doing, the bears are doing, the weevils, and then the PAC meeting. Cool. And what we're going to be doing for the PAC meeting. Sure. That's for the year, so that goes from August to August.
And the really nice part about that is that you're showing how organized you are. And you're not just winging it. You're not just, here we are, Cub Scouts, going to have fun. Come on, join us. It's no, here's what we're going to be doing. That's fantastic.
And so we have a couple of things different for the religious square knot. We have a faith in God. And so here's a list that shows things. And then the ones with the little knot by go towards their square knot for the church. And so that just gives the parents an idea ahead of time. It's a lot of things that they would be doing normally. They just need to be aware of it. And there's also this other one that's Faith in God for Boys. It just shows articles and developing talents. Then I like the extra awards. All my boys just got this Outdoor Activity Award because we do all the hikes. And it's not very hard to add in the environmental stuff to get these awards. And I'm working on this ethics awareness. I was asking, so we're going to find out next month how we get the DSA badge. And then there's just a thing for the segments that are available. You have to point out the fact that they have to earn these either with a PAC or den, not just on their own. But I always tell them if they have something they really want to do, just tell us and we can do it as a den, you know, it's not a big thing to do that. And then the last one is just a simple thing of where to put the stuff on the uniform, and everybody has a question on that one.
Yes.
So it's the older one, so it has some of the arrows, but it works just fine, and gives parents an idea which sleeve to put what on.
Anybody else had a district rounder end up on the right sleeve because somebody thinks it's the patrol patch?
Most of them are just glad if they actually put it on their shirt. A lot of the patches don't get put on.
That's great, thank you. So you have one of those essentially created for every new scout, right?
Yeah, so
That's great.
when we go, we just give it this, and I take them a book.
Yeah.
The $13, usually parents will pay me if they don't, I just out $13, but I find that if I wait for the boy to get the book, then we've gone through 4 or 5 den meetings, and we mark stuff every single time for the books, so I just buy the books, and I take it, and almost everybody pays me, and if they can't, then I don't mind donating to them, but there's no reason to show up at the first den meeting without their books. And I also am a firm believer in our boards, so they get, we do uniform inspection, and having their book there, they get, Scouts will do anything for a Skittle or an M&M. And so, they get 1 Skittle for each thing that they have. If they have the tie slide, if they have their scarf, if they have their shirt, if they have their, we count any pants practically. They have to have pants on.
This pants on's a good thing.
If they have that book, if they're on time. And then I'll tell you, another little trick is we went to the fire station, and I didn't want to have to be saying, the rule in our den is, if sister comes isn't having fun, we don't go on field trips. And so I asked him how his sister comes having fun, and as if I'm not having to say, don't climb on this, don't touch this, don't touch, two of the things, then we're having fun. So the field trip, I wanted to be really quiet, and I was trying to figure out how to do this, and so I had a bunch of the little M&M snack bags that left over from Halloween, and so I told him, I said, okay, I have so many of these, and if I see you doing something, then I'm just going to start opening the M&Ms, and you guys can have what's left at the end of the time. And the first boy that did something, I didn't say a single thing. This fireman was doing thing. I just opened the pack, and I just ripped it open and popped one in my mouth, and he's looking at me like, we can't have any food at the end of the time, it's terrible,
How many can Mrs. Coombs eat in one meeting?
And I barely went, I didn't even go through one of those packs the whole time. They were so good. I had 9 boys there, so that's really good behavior for some of my boys. And so that's always a good thing to do. They just, food rewards go a long ways when we're going. But also, I was going to put a thing in. I have put in for the outdoor code and the
and leave no trace. Yes, because that's for every rank.
And in here I have the cyber
chip. Excellent.
And I have their registration forms. They have the parents fill that out when I go.
Excellent. So for us in the traditional side, if you have scouts that come in kind of on the off season, that's an excellent idea to put together a packet and either have the den leader and or the cub master sit down with scout, mom, dad, and say, hey, here's how this works. Take 40 minutes, maybe at the end of a pack meeting, the end of a den meeting, and just kind of lay out exactly the way Ann said, here's how it all works. Because it probably doesn't take very long once you get going and you get your cadence, right?
And
half an hour.
Just gives you a chance to meet way one-on-one, which is nice.
Absolutely.
You sort of know what you're getting into,
yeah, and that's
they can't sit still when their parents are sitting right there, and then you've got a little bit more of a challenge. So.
Anybody have any questions for some of that, or in general?
It's a nice folder.
Yeah.
Well, anyone can get it. I mean, this isn't anything that's not online or something except for the rosters and my den thing, what we're doing for each den meeting.
Well, like I said, that a lot of our new families don't know where to go and don't know how to look that stuff up, so it's good to collect it. Yes?
The uniform sheet that's outdated in this folder, do you know where a new one could be found?
We have a sort of new version that I created for my parent guide.
Can we email you for that?
Yeah, that'd be fun. I actually had to, I didn't Photoshop it, but I actually copied and pasted a black and white of the district rounder, because that's the one that's really different as a district rounder where the old immediate recognition used to be, right? And you don't want parents to go, what are all these dangly bead things that we don't use anymore? But the rounder is supposed to go there. And I've seen the rounder go in some really weird spots, and so I tried to make that clear. I still had a scout with a rounder up here this time. I don't know how that happened.
And there is a picture in the Wolf book at the back.
Yes.
There's a picture in the book that shows where everything's
So it could be pointing to the right spot, or you could use what I have, and if you want to get a document copy.
I don't know if it
Right down the back page.
all the online training still is missing the uniform as of last
And I
week.
can also
Really?
get a copy of the scout.
Yeah, because that's why,
Yeah.
we had so many
It's not
people
there.
show up to Scout University because
Oh boy.
you couldn't do online training. But I mean, it was good. Made a lot of parents come.
And that's one of the things that we do need to convey to new parents is here's what the uniform is.
Yeah.
And little things like, for us, sweatpants are not appropriate, guys. Let's, make it. Jeans, we're belt up. I don't know about everybody else. Jeans, if it's warm in summer, shorts are fine. We kind of draw the line at athletic pants. Lay those things out,
Yeah.
right? And just say, hey, that's, we're not going to send Billy home if he comes in camo shorts, but come on, that kind of thing, right? Anybody have any thoughts or comments to share? Yes.
So considering that for the Wolves and the Bears, their adventures are all
Belt loops.
Yeah, you need a belt now.
that kind of drives that necessity to have a belt.
That's true. My youngest son doesn't like to wear pants with belt loops, but then he knows he can't show off his leg, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good thing to say that, something with belt loops. Previously, before we changed, I have put on my parent guide that hat is optional, belt, pants, socks are all optional. And I shifted and said, okay, for this time, because of this change, belt is a good idea. It's not like it's required, but if you want to show off your stuff, so that's a good point, yeah. Other thoughts or comments or ideas, struggles that you've had with onboarding families?
So what happens when you have, in a traditional static program, you have kids coming in March or April when
Yep.
you're trying to earn badges?
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of, I had a bunch of kids join like in May.
Okay.
And it was pretty easy to say, you know what, we're done with Tiger, you're really joining as a Wolf, but come do the activities and things. But when you have someone join in January or February,
Yep.
how can I help that? You're kind of on that cusp, like can we get some of that stuff back in? Can they work, what are
So-
people's strategies for that?
2 years ago, when Tiger was a little bit simpler, arguably, I had a scout join in April. And so he joined his first meeting was one of the Go See It's. It was a police station. And basically what we said was, let's earn Bobcat and then you'll slide into Wolf. He ended up, and this is the thing a lot of people don't know, he ended up earning Tiger over the summer. We as adult leaders can actually extend the deadline, which is traditionally in June for traditional units. We can actually make an exception and let that scout go all the way to September. The caveat is they can't work on two at the same time, the exception being Bobcat. They can't work on Wolf and Bear. They can't work on Tiger and Wolf. So you have to make that distinction. And now with the new adventures, we're probably going to be doing, most of us in the traditional side, a lot of this work starting in the summer. They're going to be doing more at summer camp.
Yeah, there was some confusion about summer camp, right? Because you're required to have a pack camp activity for wolves and a lot of other stuff.
Yes.
Does summer camp count as a pack camp activity?
Okay. The answer is yes.
It is, yes.
But-
There was confusion at Scout
Well, okay,
University.
it's yes. The day camps don't count.
Day
It's
camp,
not
but
camp.
the.
So a resident camp, all
Okay.
pack camping does. So if you're traditional unit, you do partake in those things. That's great.
Okay.
And this was asked, I believe, in April or May. The thing to keep in mind is like if you do an overnighter, if you go to the Oregon Zoo, they do overnighters,
Yeah.
or Evergreen Aviation and stuff like that, they do an overnighter. Those are inside.
Yeah.
Camping is not done inside.
Okay.
So there's a distinction. Those don't count.
Not done
They-
inside.
Camping is done outside. So what you could do, for instance, for wolves, the requirement is go camping with your pack or family.
Yeah.
My opinion is if Dad and Billy Cub Scout pitch a tent in the backyard and spend the night, I think you're good.
Oh, okay.
You're done.
Perfect.
If they go with the pack, that's cool. Bears, on the other hand, are go camping with your pack, period. With the only exception being if your charter board doesn't allow it. That's it. So again, if you're a traditional unit, you are going to be going camping.
Okay, so the Bears technically,
And-
all of ours do most of their transition, almost all of it in June, so they'll be
Yes,
Bears.
yes.
So they can start working on their Bear stuff.
Yes. So the word from National is basically if your pack doesn't go camping otherwise, then okay, summer camp's fine. They really want to get our scouts out, experiencing the outdoors. And the thing that we've seen over the past 20, 30 years is somebody transitioning from, and it could be a scout, it could be adult, from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts, and they think they're going to die because they're in a tent and there's a mosquito. It's really a problem.
Yeah.
And we want to get that retention. We want Webelos to join Boy Scouts and stay. And one of the ways they're trying to do that is to say, okay, let's get you outside and experiencing these things a little bit earlier, a little more controlled. I would definitely recommend council property. I would recommend doing something in June, either right before or right after school is out for us, is when we do it. You might consider trying to do 2 per year. We did ours in June, and then we had 16 new scouts join in September. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I have 4 new 5th graders in the new Arrow of Light program. Arrow of Light's even more challenging than Bear, because Arrow of Light, you have to go camping and coordinate a campfire and do all these things on the camp out. The way they wrote it, it's like, whoa! So be aware of that.
Yeah.
So we have like 12 scouts that need to go camping.
Are they talking about changing some of the camp structures? Because right now, all the camps out in the technical off-season, which is generally, we try to not pack in a bunch of camps for the scouts during the summer.
Right, okay.
We loaded it. So I was trying to look for stuff, and all I could find was really winter lodges and camping. Meriwether, I talked to them, it's more for Boy Scouts, they said.
Clark, Butte Creek, Cub World before they bulldoze it.
Yeah.
I don't believe Ireland is okay.
So can we schedule?
Yes.
You can schedule off-season?
Absolutely.
Okay,
You can go camping.
okay.
We went
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep. You can choose if you want to go to Cub World and sleep in the teepees before they bulldoze it, go have it.
That's what we did in June.
Yep.
We did it across the-
We went to
Oh, really?
Clark in June,
Okay.
and we had a great time. Just choose the campsite, get a call down to the office. They have Jennifer Mooney is the Cub Scout camping coordinator, and she is fantastic.
Awesome.
Yep. Any other thoughts or comments to
When the
share?
bull doesn't cover.
Sorry?
When the bull doesn't cover.
The ink isn't dry. Technically, the easiest way to say it is the sale is in limbo. And the person or the organization that's buying it has extended the option to buy it yet again and paid some kind of a, last I heard was they paid some kind of a penalty, and I don't know, because it's circumnavigated by suburbia, and they have people coming onto the site all the time and they shouldn't be there. It's a real issue.
And who are they selling it to? Is it?
It's a developer. It's gonna be McMansions. Yeah. Thoughts or comments? All right, let's do this real quick. There was a suggestion made a couple months ago about contacts, resources, both at the district level and the council level. How do these things work? Who's who, what's what? So this is what this is all about. I'm trying to make it brief. This is kind of the traditional view of your PAC. You have a committee chair and a PAC committee that reports technically to the chartered org rep. They report to the chartered organization. Local council's over here dangling for a reason. I'll get to that in a second. And then the rest, everybody else kind of falls out. I like to draw it like this, where I have all my dens down here. I have my Cub Masters and their assistants in green, and my committee members are over here working behind the scenes, right? I liken this to a theater production. Everyone here is in the play. My Cub Master is the leading man. He's putting on the show, and this is the choir, or whatever. And everybody here is stagehands, backstage doing props and costumes and lighting and sets. And I'm just the stage manager. It's all my job as a committee chair. And then charter org rep, their uncle owns the theater, right? Or something like that. So that's how it's kind of supposed to work. Everyone here kind of works in the background usually. Some of us wear multiple hats. For this today, I do this, I do that, I do a little of that. Yeah, okay, great. But in an ideal world, this is kind of the breakout, right? Your PAC, by the way, we'll get back to this in just a second. Your PAC is not owned by the district, by the council, or local or national. Your PAC is owned and operated by the chartered organization, legally speaking. I liken it to McDonald's. If I want to open as, like, say, a church, a new PAC, a new troop, I have to go to BSA council and ask, hey, can I open up a PAC? And they'll come and do a little research and make sure there's enough people that want to be part of it. And then they'll say, sure, here's your charter, boom, you're done. But my organization owns that, right? Is that clear to everybody? Anybody have any questions about that? Because it's kind of an important point.
Like a franchise.
Exactly. It's exactly like a franchise. We call it a charter. And because of that, they can set policies. And they are asked every time an adult leader is given an adult application and fills one out to sign that and approve it via the chartered org rep. In theory, they should sign every single one to say, yes, we approve of this person and we believe that they're going to be a good leader. They cannot, by the way, add, remove, modify, or throw away willy-nilly requirements for advancement or awards or anything like that. That's a BSA thing. The chartered organization owns the unit and owns the funds, owns all the equipment. The district is simply a geographic subdivision with one exception or two. Sea Scouts are their own district. It's not geographic. I think there might be a district for Learning for Life too or something like that. It's not a legal entity. We are not legally a thing. Districts carry out the programs and policies. The vast majority of people who work at the district level are volunteers, not professionals. There are 1 or 2 professionals in each district. They're either district executives or district directors. We happen to have 2 right now, one of each, Brian Blatchley and Riley Rusted. Everybody else fits into 2 buckets, committee or commissioners. And very similar to your Cub Scout pack, your commissioners, or sorry, your committee members are just like your pack committee. Sorry, your committee, your district committee members, I'm going to get this right, and their chairs, are just like your pack committee. They sit in the background, they make things happen. Everything from Camporee, Weeblos Woods, District Pinewood Derby, training sessions, whatnot. You may not see these folks on a regular basis. You probably see some of them at Roundtable at the beginning, but they work in the background to get things done. They're very much like your pack committee, except for there are actually multiple committees in the district, and we'll see that in just a second. Commissioners are more like your den leaders and your Cub Masters. They are facing the audience. They are, what's the word I use? The audience, of course, in Cub Scout pack is the Cub Scouts. The audience in the district is you good people. I'm your den leader right now, right? That's the analogy. One of the most important things that the district does every month is Roundtable. Each scouting district has 4 fundamental functions. We promote membership, we have some finance things, program's a big one, there's a lot under program, and then unit service. The easy way to say this is, these are your commissioners, pretty much. These are the first 3 are your committee, your district committee. So this is an image from one of the district, how the district works things from national. Notice membership, finance, right there. There's your program with a bunch of stuff under it. They collapsed all the commissioners into one box. I don't like that. Again, unit service is right here.
As needed.
Exactly. Here's your district key 3. Everyone knows what their key 3 is in their pack, right? Cub Master, committee chair, chartered org rep. Here's your key 3 up here. Your district chair, your district commissioner, and your district executive. Important people that set policy. Well, set the direction of the district, if you will. There's some things on here. I'm not going to go through every single one. The membership, the finance, the program, a breakout of things that districts do. These are some of the patches that you'll see running around. Districts tend to be kind of bluish, and commissioners tend to be red. There are your professional scouters on the far left. Not very many of them. You'll see them. We'll talk to them. If you guys talk to Brian Blatchley or Riley Rusted, that's your district director, your district executive. Those are the people that are actually paid to do this. Some resources. There are a lot of resources for you guys. If you had just run up against a wall, I saw an online forum today that said, gosh, my den leader is terrible and my Cub Master won't pay attention to do anything about it. Who can I reach out to? First and foremost, if you have an issue, reach out to your unit commissioner. Every unit should have a unit commissioner. Their job is to keep the pulse of that unit if things are going well, if there needs to be an intervention, if you will. Unfortunately, right now, some of our packs in our district don't have UCs, so they have ADCs, or assistant district commissioners, that are helping those packs. They act as a unit commissioner, unfortunately. Yes?
How do we find our unit commissioner?
If you don't know them, you can email me and I can tell you. That would be one way to go. In theory, your UC should be visiting at least 4 of your meetings, either a pack meeting or a committee meeting throughout the entire year. And they should be approaching your, if it's a Cub Master, you're a Cub Master, you should know your unit commissioner. Your Cub Master, your committee chair, and say, hi, my name's Bob, I'm your unit commissioner. And literally, when you go to Commissioners College, they train you that your job as a UC is to be a friend to the unit. You're not there as the police, you're not there as, you know, the district make-a-doer hammer guy. No, you're there to make friends and encourage people. Of course, Andrew Danner, our district commissioner, he's for Cub Scouting. You saw David Bennett here today, focuses on Boy Scouts. Myself, my assistant, Daryl, and all these other people who make things happen. These, most of these folks in here, you can find contacts right here at our district webpage if you need to reach out. Questions? Excellent. Councils are actually legal entities. They're actually a business. They're a nonprofit organization. They exist fundamentally to support every single Boy Scout unit in a geographic area. They own property, maintain property, they lease property, they accept and manage donations, earn money, spend money, all that. They're actually a legal organization. They establish the policies that we as district carry out, with the exception of being the big Cub Scout camps like Meriwether and Baldwin and Camp Clark in the summer. Those are council-run things. Both volunteers and professional work at the council level, but for the most part, I believe the majority of people at council are professionals. The volunteers do fall into two very similar categories of being on a committee or being commissioners. This is a slightly more challenging one to understand. Again, the council has a key three. Council commissioner is a volunteer, council president is a volunteer, the scout executive is the CEO of the council. You have a group of vice presidents. Notice the chartered org reps down here, they get a vote. Every chartered organization has a vote every year on whatever matters they vote on. Same thing with district chairs. We saw that in the previous slide. Other board members. So it's very hierarchical. I'm going to show you the next slide is all about commissioners. It's a very hierarchical structure. It goes all the way from your unit down here to the unit commissioner, to the assistant district commissioner, to the district commissioner. You're missing a breakout where you're going to have a bunch of ADCs report to a single district commissioner. Same thing here. You're going to have a bunch of assistant council commissioners all the way up to the council commissioner. At the council level, you have commissioners who focus on Roundtable. They're not actually my boss. I report to the district commissioner here, but they're supposed to help me put on a good show. You also have council commissioners that focus on things like University of Scouting, Recharter, Commissioners College, training, stuff like that to make things happen at the council level. Those people can also be resources for you, but for the most part, they're resources for us at the district level. There are some patches you might see at the council level. Scout Executive, the CEO, would wear that. And he has a bunch of people who report to him, again, in a very hierarchical structure. Various patches you'll see. There's your volunteers. See the shift in the balance? So when you go down to the scout office, you see most of these folks. Camp staff, rangers, those folks. Some council resources. These are some very knowledgeable and useful people. The folks at the front desk are phenomenal. If you haven't been down there, if you have a question, call, drive down, ask questions. These folks know what they're doing. They get these questions all the time. A couple of good ones to point out, Michelle Baumann. If you have a question about advancement or awards, either Cub Scout or adult leader, she's a great resource. All this can be found right here. Emails, phone numbers, stuff like that. Kelly McHarg is the person who does flyers and stuff like that for recruitment. She's a fantastic resource. The camp in question, Jennifer Mooney. She's our Cub Scout in particular, camping coordinator. And then Bo Henderson is the Boy Scout camping coordinator, director. Membership stuff is at the bottom. If you have membership issues, you have an application that you submitted and it hasn't come through, it's not on the thing. These are the folks you should call about that, or questions about applications and things like that. Are there any questions or thoughts? Was that helpful at all? Hopefully you can refer back to that. I know it's a lot.
You're going to email this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
You'll have all this.
Okay,
I know it's a lot. But know that there are volunteers here to serve you, especially at the district level, but also there are volunteers and professionals at the council, depending on what you need to help you out. And really just a phone call down to the council office will help you go, hey, that's who I need to talk to. And a great example is my pack. Actually, just recently I learned we have a scout with severe autism, learning disabilities. And we realized he's not understanding, he just joined as a 4th grader. He's not understanding the Webelos program. He just can't comprehend. And I told my advancement guy, call down to council, see what we can do. And we got some fantastic answers. I plan on doing a breakout probably in about 6 months on scouting with disabilities. If you guys would like to hear more about that, let me know, because I'm kind of building up some thoughts like that. I'll talk about that in a second. Short answer is, if you have a scout with disabilities and it's recorded, you can do whatever you want. We're going to have him meet with the wolf then. Questions or comments? Okay, yes, go ahead.
I've been a trainer for, I'm working on my 3rd decade as an adult scouter.
Nice.
There's one thing that for new leaders, never feel like you're alone doing your job. there's this huge mountain of people, you saw that chart.
Yes.
That the only reason why they exist is to serve you.
Absolutely.
You are in the trenches. You're the one that the whole sky. So all those people in Texas,
Yep, Texas,
the national organization, they're all focused on you
and the Scouts,
contact leader. So this whole Boy Scouts of America is all focused to serve you. So I never feel like nobody understands me. I can't do this. I don't have any ideas. No, because we're here to serve.
Yep. And don't hesitate to reach out. Right? Yeah. Thank you.